Hey guys, here we are with a special video that I'm going to be doing on Thomas Hearns versus Roberto Duran, and I want to talk about the setup to this punch. And I was just going to chop this video up and make a bunch of like little clips that kind of show, oh, he did this in the round, he did that in the round, but the round is just so dense, and there are parts of it that aren't needed, right? That we'll be talking about as well, but I wanted to kind of break this down because Thomas Hearns doesn't get the credit he deserves for being a great boxer. And I mean a great boxer. You know, after this fight, everyone kind of said, oh, Duran just wasn't big enough. Duran was too small. Tommy Hearns is a big puncher, whatever. You know, to be honest, I wasn't alive when they fought. Actually, I don't know when the fuck they fought, to be honest, like what year it was. So I don't know what anybody said, you know, but when people talk about Thomas Hearns nowadays, they're like he was a big puncher or he was a pretty good boxer or, you know, but he was one of the greats. And his setup to getting to this point to land one of probably the greatest right hand in all of boxing was just masterful. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. And it's just amazing, you guys. So right off the bat, oh yeah, and what do we know about Thomas Hearns, right? What does everybody know? You know, and granted, like this fight perpetuates that. He has a great right hand, right? So that's what he's going to be looking to set up in this fight. We're going to kind of go through it and see what he does to set that right hand up. So right away, comes out. Look at how active his guard is too, right? Bouncing, right hand up, down, right, up, down. Feints, right? He comes in with the feint. Boom. And after he feints, he brings it back and brings his hand up just in case his opponent wanted to come over the top or come with his own jab, whatever. You know, very responsible defense. Look at how low he gets with his feint as well, his jab on the feint. He gets low before he comes in and feints with it, right? So it looks like it's a jab to the body. Again, getting low, shooting the jab to the body, right? Gets low, right? And then he sees his opponent jabs. And in order to keep him from throwing a right hand over the top, right, of his own jab, because maybe that's what Duran was looking to do right there, is bait his own jab, he shoots his own jab to control Duran, right? Beautiful boxing. And one thing I want to point out, look at where Duran goes after he shoots his jab. Just very smart boxing. He knows the right hand's coming, so he shoots the jab, and he ducks down to get under the right hand. So what does Tommy Hearns do to keep Duran in line for that right hand? We'll see. Look at how many feints he's using. Look at how active he is in his guard, right? Boom, jab, jab, right? Constantly feinting, constantly probing. Oh, beautiful. Gives him a double feint right there. Oh, man. So now look at this. This is just fucking beautiful boxing, you guys. And I apologize if I use a little more profanity in the course of this than I should. So he feints him, double feints him, and then watches as notice how he gets a little low on the feint too, right? So gets low, right? Gets low, and then as soon as on the double feint, right, Duran ducks down to his right and puts his weight on his right leg to get away from the right hand, right? So how is Thomas Hearns going to find a way to land that right hand when that's all that Duran is thinking about? Every time Thomas Hearns does something, he ducks down to his right. Or Duran ducks down to his right to get away from the right hand. So now he comes in with a feint, right? Expecting Duran to duck down to his right and shoots another jab. So instead of giving him a double feint, he gives him a single feint and then shoots the jab to keep Duran's head up so that he can stop him from ducking down under the right. Beautiful. And, you know, classic technique, right? He gets him to overextend with his right hand. He knows that Duran's going to be looking to land his own and comes back with the counter. You know, one of the advantages to having a reach advantage. In my opinion, heightened reach advantages are usually pretty negligible. They don't really matter. If you're a good fighter, you're a good fighter. But, you know, to be fair, Roberto Duran's like 3 feet tall and Hearns is like 6. So, but anyway. And then goes right back to feinting low with the jab. And look at his feint, right? He's not just throwing his glove out there recklessly, right? but he's making it look like it's a real punch. You know, how he flares his elbow, right? Like he's going to throw the shot and turn it over and crack him with it, right? So Duran has to respect it. Again, another feint. And beautiful. So he gets low, and he's got that lead arm flashing, right? Duran doesn't know exactly what to make of it, and he kind of gives him a back fist jab. But I love the fact that he shoots it, and the way that he comes down with it, he shoots it to the left side of Duran's face, jabbing him in the left side of his eye, right? Again, beautiful. And we'll talk about what that's going to do later. And Duran tries to counter to the body, and Thomas Hearns tries to counter that counter. Again, feinting him low, and now this is beautiful. Feinting, and even, actually committing to a jab to the body, and look at how Duran reacts to the jab to the body when Hearns comes in. He uses both hands to parry, which you're never supposed to do, right? Never, right? And he ducks away from the shot. Now Hearns comes back in, feinting him, and gets him to lean back away from the right hand as well, because he knows that the right hand is still coming too. In this instance, unfortunately for Hearns, while he's setting that up, he kind of steps on Duran's foot and they have to reset. But no biggie. So back to it. Jabbing, feints, right? And now Duran's showing that he's trying to fight off of his jab, right? And really interesting technique. You don't usually slip to the inside, but he wants to land the left hook to the body, right? So he slips the jab and comes on the inside and does a good job of turning out. Not bad. Feinting again, getting low, and he comes low, and Duran goes to commit to a jab, and Hearns commits to another jab as well. And notice how he shoots it to the left side of Duran's face. Again, this is all to set up the right hand. He's trying to hit him in the eye so that he can stop him from being able to see the right hand coming. This is just punch placement that you don't see in boxing anymore. You just never see it. Beautiful. Getting low, getting low. Oh man, and there's something I think I've been neglecting to talk about because the film study is so dense. But again, when he ducks down like that, Roberto Duran has to respect that a right hand might come again, right? So he ducks down, and immediately there's a change in Duran where he ducks down a little bit too, right? Ducks. He feints the jab, and then, whoops. So he feints the jab, and then Duran knows that the right hand might be coming and has to duck himself. So then what does Tommy Hearns do again? So feints the jab. Whoops, I missed it. So feints, and then Duran ducks down. Then he feints the jab, and then he goes for a real jab, expecting Duran to duck the right hand again, right? Exact same situation right here, right? Feints the jab, and then he tries to get away from the right hand, feints the jab, and expects him to get away from the right hand again, and shoots a jab so that he can bring Duran's head up. So now Duran has to be mindful of the fact that he's getting set up for the jab. Beautiful boxing from Thomas Hearns, you guys. Absolutely amazing. Now, look at the way that Duran is pulling away from the jab, right? He's not ducking into it anymore because he knows, and he's not ducking down to his right anymore because he knows the jab is coming, so he's pulling back away. And again, Thomas Hearns shooting his jab to the left side of his face. Beautiful. Trying to tag and mark up his eye. And we'll see his eye be marked up a little later in the fight, but just beautiful. Again, when he does shoot his jab, shooting it to the left side of Duran's face. And goddamn, he's so fast. It's hard to see. It's hard to time and time the slow-mos. But again, comes in, ducks, gauges Duran's response, and Duran is still ducking down to his right to get away from that right hand. Look at this. Look at how they just jockey for position right here. Neither one of them is punching. Well, I mean, there's a punch right there, but look at how their heads are going back and forth, back and forth. It's just beautiful boxing. So he ducks. So let's take a look at it. So he ducks down. And Duran says, oh shit, gotta duck down, get away from that right hand. Then he leans up. Then Hearns leans onto his left leg. And Duran says, oh, a jab might come right there. Gotta get down. Then Hearns dips down to his right leg. And then Duran immediately has to dip down to his right leg, his own right leg again, to get away from the right hand in case it comes over the top. And he baits him into throwing his own right hand and catching him with a left hook. And I'm not sure if he's baiting him for that, but it does look so far during the course of the film study that that is one of his tools, something that he's drilled in the gym with the manual steward, is countering the right hand with his own left hook, as he's done it many times during the course of this round. Oh, man. So here he is, jabbing at him, and then he sees that Duran doesn't move at all. Then he feints a jab to the body, and Duran goes to catch it, right? And look at, if you notice his left hand comes out to parry as well, right? And immediately off of that, Hearns sees that he finally has the opening that he's been waiting for and walks him into a straight right hand. Beautiful boxing. Gets him, and then goes to the body, gets him to parry the jab to the body with both hands, and then comes over the top with the right hand. Beautiful boxing. All that work that he's done to keep Duran's head up, to keep him upright, to set up the right hand in the first round. He's done all these little tricks, all this little game, all these mind games to finally land that right hand on Duran. Beautiful boxing. And now, Duran obviously probably a little shook, and Hearns is just going after him. Beautiful boxing though. Jab, feinting right hand right there, gets him to turn away from it so he can land a left hand to the body. A probing right hand again so he can get him to turn away from it into the left hook. Just beautiful boxing, you guys. Whoa, probing right hand. I just love it. And anyway, then back to boxing. And you gotta love Duran's defensive responsibility, right? Knows that the shot is coming, tries to slip the right hand, knows that the left hook would be coming after that, and goes to roll it. Even though it doesn't come, that's not the point, right? Duran is also a great fighter, you guys, a very good fighter. And again, here you see him shooting the 1-2, and Hearns kind of taking it so that he can try to land his left hook to the head. Again, trying to counter the right hand. Something that he's obviously worked very long on in the gym so that he can perfect. And then we get back into it. And now Duran, again, trying to slip the jab, right, so he can get around it and land his own left hook to the body. But Hearns sees that, and instead of staying there when he shoots the jab, pivots on him and changes the angle, and Duran's basically completely out of position. Again, beautiful jab to the left side of Duran's face, targeting his left eye, so he's not going to be able to see that right hand coming. Ducks down to his right, and now Duran's starting to respect the right hand and being like, oh, ducking down to his left to slip it. And you never want to see too much control where he's kind of whipping him around. That might be a product of just Tommy Hearns being so much bigger than Duran. But ducking down again. Now look at the difference between this, right? Jab, ducking down, and getting Duran to try to catch it. But look at how Duran doesn't move away from the right hand anymore. Right? In the earlier in the round, he was very wary of the right hand, but now he's got to be very wary of the fact that Hearns is looking to set him up off of that double jab. Boom. And again, because of that, because Duran is no longer moving his head and respecting the right hand, I'm sure he's respecting it, but because he's no longer doing that, he's just getting walked into another right hand again. And just a beautiful shot from him that he makes him think, again, it's going to be a body shot, and just rakes him over the face with another right hand that I'm sure that he's having a little bit harder of a time seeing because of these jabs, boom, that are targeting the left eye of Duran. Beautiful boxing, beautiful punch placement. And then what does he do? Right back to the jab to the body. And look at how open. See, this is one of the only angles that you really get to see, right? But look at how open Duran is when he's parrying the jab to the body, whether he uses both hands or not, right? Look at how open he is to it. And then immediately my video freezes. But look at Duran's eye real quick. Look at Duran's eye real quick in the first round, right? I know it's hard to see because the video is so old, but you can really tell that there's some damage right there, not only from the right hand, but from Tommy Hearns' jab. And what does Tommy Hearns do right from this position? He ducks down, feints to the body, and gets Duran to parry the jab with both hands again and nails him with the right hand again, dropping him. Beautiful boxing, you guys. Just masterclass, against a great fighter like Duran, who's obviously very wary of the right hand, but he's been able to take away his opponent's ability to defend against it by keeping him in position of it. And then obviously he's hurt, so he's throwing punches, and this is not the most important part of the round, right? He even gets another knockdown right there, which confuses the hell out of me, I'll be honest. It might be because of this left hook to the liver right there that kind of just jolts him, and then he lands another right hook, but gets him to kind of drop him again, and that's the end of the round. And we'll get to see a little bit of slow-mo, but look at his face, man. Look at his left eye. And then again, feints low, shows him the jab to the body, and lands the right cross. Beautiful boxing, you guys. This is masterclass. And we don't need to watch it. Oh, well, I guess we can watch this. But he lands that left hook right there. Boom. And Duran goes down again. And I think it was from the left hand, not the right. So here he comes. And look at the direction that Duran is looking to get away from, not only the right hand, but the jab as well, right? Trying to protect his left eye when he gets away from it. He doesn't want to catch shots on his left eye, but also so that he can slip the jab and then come around with his own left hook, right? Great upper body movement. And not bad right there. Gets into probe, slips it, and then comes to the body. Great work right there from Duran. Duran is a very good fighter, you guys, and here he is baiting the jab again, trying to slip on the inside, but now this is beautiful too, right? Because modern day boxers, they don't know what to do when they see the lead hand, right? They don't know what to do when it's controlling the distance. A lot of times they don't do anything. They just wait for their opponent to use that strategy to set up their punch. But Duran is actively looking to work around it, right? Immediately tries to use his lead hand to set up a shot so he can jab and then slip, right? But immediately Hearns goes and controls the distance, right? It's not a real punch, but he's using the lead hand to control the distance and to control the space to stop Duran from setting up his punches. Beautiful boxing. Again, just probing with the lead hand, probing, and he knows what Duran is looking to do, and he's able to easily take a step back and try and clip him with that left hook. And that's, great for boxing, but it has nothing to do with the actual knockout. Oh, man. And then again, Duran testing him, slipping, coming in with that left hook that he's been trying to land, and eats a right hand over the top of it. Even though he does kind of land that left hook a little bit, right? Kind of cuffing blow to the back of the ear, but not a hard shot. Not anywhere near like the one he's taking right there to land it. But beautiful boxing from both of them. Now Hearns testing his resolve, right? Look at this little feint that he does where he dips down to his right, and Duran doesn't react at all, showing that he's not really thinking about the right hand at all. Whoops. And then again, shooting the jab. And that one doesn't look like it's targeting the left eye, right? But testing it. Now he comes in with the probing jab, a jab to the body, right? And then look at this. Look at Duran's counter to it, right? He's been getting wrecked by these punches, right? So what does he do? He makes an adjustment, and when Hearns comes in to land that right hand that he's been looking to land over the top or over the guard, he's able to counter it because he's a great fighter himself, right? It doesn't, obviously it doesn't hurt Hearns. It kind of hits him in the jaw, not on the chin or in the temple, not in like a really super, awful place to get hit. but it's a great shot from him, and a good trap that he set up. And I can't tell if Hearns is landing his own right hand or not, even though it looks like Duran's head is like getting jostled, maybe just because of his hair and his haircut. I don't know. But then immediately, Hearns going back to his 1-2. Whoops. Shooting that jab. Look at that lightning fast jab. And again, Duran, being a good fighter, defensive responsibility, knows that right hand is coming and he's able to get under it. It might clip him a little bit. He slips that one. And to be honest, I can't tell why this next one lands, but it does crack him right there. And look at how his hands kind of drop. It's almost like he's out immediately right there, right? But one thing that I do kind of want to point out, it might land, and I couldn't find a clip that was HD enough to tell, but when he flashes this lead hand, it looks like he's cupping Duran's left hand and pulling it down and dragging him into this right hand, and that's why that one's landing. But I'm not sure, right? But he has the defensive responsibility to get away from this right hand, right? He slips that one, and it looks like this one pulls Duran's hand down. Again, the clip is like not super great. It'll probably show up better on YouTube than it does on my own computer, so maybe I'll go back and watch it. But catches him with that right hand and just wrecks him. You know, all the work that he's put in the first round and in this round to set up the right hand, hiding it, just beautiful boxing. Coming in with this, again, ducking down. Whoops. Again, ducking down, right? No response from Duran. And then he shoots the jab to make sure that Duran keeps his head up. He really doesn't want Duran ducking the right hand or getting away from it. So he shoots the jab to keep his head up. And he comes in, flashes the jab to the body, and Duran doesn't know if it's going to be a body shot or a head shot with the jab, and winds up just eating another right hand. Just beautiful boxing from him. And also, look at where he is right here in the ring, right? Well, real quick, look at where Duran is right here in the ring, and look at where Tommy Hearns is in the ring. Shoots the jab, and then moves back, and how he changes the angle, right? How the angle is completely different, right, from where he was just a second ago, right? So he's basically parallel to the ropes in front of us, right, in this clip. And then if you look at it here, you know, there's, I don't know what the percent or what the degree of the angle is on it, but you can tell that his back is not flush with the ropes like they just were a second ago. And Duran has not adjusted, right? So Tommy Hearns is able to come in off the line, flash the lead hand, again baiting him into parrying it and wrecking him again with another right hand, just by simply moving off the line just a little bit, but also with all of the other tricks, shooting the jab to the head, right? And then coming with the body. And Duran doesn't know whether he should move his head. He doesn't know whether he's walking into a right hand, walking into a jab. He doesn't know. And he just gets caught with another right hand that just hurts him too much. And Tommy Hearns is, you know, able to kind of tee off on him. And then now we get to the punch heard around the world. Body, body. And because he's low, because Thomas Hearns is low when he comes in, boom, boom, Duran thinks it's going to be a right hand to the body and brings his arm down and eats a huge right hand. And I guess we can just watch that again. Beautiful boxing from Thomas Hearns. And notice almost everything in the fight that Thomas Hearns did was to set up the right hand. And in the second round, you know, a minute into the round, he was able to set it up and land it and end the fight. Beautiful boxing from Thomas Hearns. I didn't mean for this video to be so long, but my goodness, you guys, just amazing. Amazing boxing from him. I'm thinking about making this kind of a series and kind of going back through like famous knockouts and stuff. If you guys have any requests for knockouts, put them in the comments section below, and I can start working on that kind of series and start putting them out. I don't know what I'll call it yet. Obviously, by the time that the video comes up, I'll have figured that out. But it would be a really interesting series, you know, going back and doing, you know, past fights where you know, like George Foreman. I have a video on my channel of George Foreman's infamous KO against Michael Moorer, one of the greatest knockouts of all time. And I do a film study on that. And it's really interesting too. That was more of like a political thing, talking about how even professional fighters, you know, Michael Moorer, who was one of the greatest light heavyweights of all time, per Emmanuel Stewart, says that George Foreman landed a lucky punch. And George Foreman was like, nah, I set that shit up, yo. And Michael Moorer calls him a liar. And he was the one that was in the ring with him, and he has no idea that he was set up for it. If you guys want to look back, it's like one of my first like 20 or 30 videos, like back in the day. But George Foreman does indeed use a block removal technique on him to land the right hand, and pulls his guard away and just wrecks him and knocks him out. And to this day, Michael Moorer still thinks it's a lucky punch. That was actually probably one of my favorite videos to make. I really enjoyed it for some reason. But anyway, put it in the comments what video or what knockout you'd like to see. If it can be contemporary, it can be like another good one. Like I've been thinking about it would be because I don't have enough Mayweather videos on my channel, in spite of how great of a fighter he actually is. I've been thinking about doing Ricky Hatton, the knockout against Ricky Hatton, and how he set that one up. I don't know. Just let me know what you guys think. I really appreciate it, and it'll give me something to do. Anyway, thanks, guys. Oh, and there was a guy. His name is DeBoxer. He's, you know, I really appreciate how much he loves learning about boxing and how he's constantly analyzing film on his own. So this is for you, DeBoxer. You asked me about setting up the right hand. So this video is dedicated to you and all the beautiful ways that Thomas Hearns looks to set up his right hand, one of the greatest right hands of all time. All right, thanks, guys.